When Brad Pitt publicly acknowledged his participation in Alcoholics Anonymous, it marked a rare moment of raw honesty in an industry that often demands polished silence. It wasn't a headline driven by scandal. It was a quiet confirmation of something deeply personal. Years after his high-profile split from Angelina Jolie, the Oscar-winning actor is gradually revealing a different kind of story. One not about box office success or Hollywood legacy, but about accountability, healing, and the slow, private work of becoming better. In a recent conversation on the Armchair Expert podcast, Pitt spoke with unusual candor about the emotional and psychological aftermath of his divorce. "It was a tough time," he said plainly. "I nearly went down to my knees. I needed to reboot. I needed to wake up in certain areas." Pitt's statement may sound modest, but it refers to a seismic shift in his personal life. His divorce from Angelina Jolie, announced in September 2016, triggered an 8-year legal battle marked by bitter disputes over custody, property, and trauma allegations. During this time, Pitt's alcohol use was cited repeatedly as a key issue behind the couple's breakdown. At the peak of public scrutiny, Pitt chose a different path than many of his peers. He stepped away from public defenses and focused inward. In 2019, speaking with the New York Times, Pitt revealed he had given up alcohol entirely. "I had taken things as far as I could go," he said. "So I gave up my license to drink." But it wasn't just abstinence, it was structure. He committed to a 1.5 years of regular meetings with Alcoholics Anonymous, a move that surprised many, not because of the decision itself, but because of how openly he talked about it. Pitt described the AA group as a safe space, where men, including himself, could talk about their pain, their regrets, and their growth without fear of judgment. "It was the first time I heard men speak openly, without shame," he shared. "Their mistakes, their weaknesses, their hopes. It was filled with humor too. I actually really treasured it." From Missouri's conservative Ozarks, Pitt acknowledged that such emotional openness was unfamiliar to him growing up, but the environment AA created was, in his words, "something I looked forward to." However, not everyone appreciated his willingness to speak about the program. Pitt later shared that he was gently reprimanded by a senior member for breaching AA's code of anonymity by discussing it with the media. "I got a slap on the wrist," he said. "But I'm a mule, a bit stubborn. Still, I understood the point." What stands out about Pitt's public comments isn't the drama, it's the humility. For someone who has spent over 3 decades as one of Hollywood's most idolized men, there's little ego in his words. He refers to himself as stubborn, but also emphasizes that he takes ownership when he stumbles. "When I've stepped in it, I do own it," he said simply. The timing of Pitt's transformation aligns closely with one of the most difficult periods in his life, an ongoing custody battle over his 6 children with Jolie, especially following a reported in-flight incident in 2016 that led to investigations by both the FBI and Child Protective Services. Though no charges were filed, the damage was done. Trust within the family had eroded, and public speculation added fuel to a deeply personal fire. In the years that followed, Pitt largely stayed silent, while slowly rebuilding relationships from the inside out. One of the most quietly significant has been his bond with Knox, his youngest son and only biological male child. Now a teenager, Knox has been described by sources close to the family as sensitive, thoughtful, and observant, traits not unlike those Pitt himself has developed over time. While much of the media spotlight focused on Pitt's romantic life and court battles, his real work was happening behind closed doors, attending events anonymously, avoiding red carpets with his children, showing up without fanfare. According to insiders, Knox began responding to this quiet presence. "Brad didn't try to force anything," one source noted. "He just kept showing up in small ways. That made the difference." It's a far cry from the tabloids' portrayal of Pitt during the height of his stardom. Fast cars, fast relationships, front-page scandals. What we see now is a man more interested in stability than sensation. The shift in Pitt's public demeanor is also reflected in his approach to fatherhood. He has spoken openly about his desire to be better for his kids, even if that means accepting that some bridges will take time to rebuild. "I'm still figuring it out," he admitted in previous interviews. "But I want to be there. I want to show up." His efforts haven't gone unnoticed. In recent months, observers have noted that Pitt has been more involved in his children's lives, especially in low-profile ways. Whether through education decisions, health matters, or simply being present, Pitt's role as a father is evolving, and perhaps more authentic than ever before. Beyond family, Pitt's sobriety has also reshaped his work. He's taken on fewer projects, but with greater intentionality, roles that reflect complexity rather than charisma. Behind the scenes, he continues to develop films through Plan B, his production company, which has shifted focus toward more socially resonant stories. All of this points to a Brad Pitt who is no longer chasing perfection but engaging with imperfection. He doesn't deny his past. He acknowledges it, owns it, and uses it to make different choices. Brad Pitt and Ines de Ramon, a refined romance unfolds on the red carpet in London. On the evening of June 23rd, the red carpet of the F1 movie premiere in London was filled with stars, luxury fashion, and flashes of global media attention. But amid the glamour, all eyes inevitably turned to Brad Pitt and Ines de Ramon, a couple whose public appearances have been rare but increasingly meaningful. The images that followed, her adjusting his collar, their hands gently locked, quiet smiles exchanged, captured something more enduring than celebrity appeal: emotional presence. Brad Pitt, now 62, appeared strikingly youthful yet composed, wearing a deep navy-tailored suit without a tie, paired with a crisp white shirt. His look felt intentional but unforced, a style that signals confidence without spectacle. Standing beside him, 35-year-old Ines de Ramon radiated understated elegance in a plunging crystal-embellished gown by Fendi. Her diamond drop earrings echoed the shimmer of her dress, completing an ensemble that blended quiet glamour with modern poise. But it wasn't just the fashion or their synchronized appearance that drew attention. It was the interaction. Ines gently reached up to adjust Brad Pitt's collar, while he smiled slightly, relaxed and unguarded. The moment went viral, not because it was dramatic, but because it was intimate. Simple. Human. Their presence at the F1 premiere marks a subtle shift in how Brad Pitt engages with public life. After years of avoiding red carpets with a partner, this appearance signals not just a personal milestone, but a recalibrated version of visibility. One that is quieter, more mature, and distinctly grounded. According to multiple sources close to the actor, Brad Pitt's relationship with Ines de Ramon has been a stabilizing force during a transformative phase in his life. The two began dating in late 2022, but kept their relationship almost entirely out of public view for over a year. Then, in early 2024, Ines reportedly moved into Pitt's Los Angeles residence, signaling a new level of commitment. Their first formal public outing took place at the Venice Film Festival later that year, an event known for cinematic prestige and subdued elegance, mirroring the tone of their relationship. "She doesn't bring drama," a source told People. "She's supportive, calm, and she meets Brad where he is now. Ines is the perfect girlfriend for this chapter of his life." That chapter is defined less by blockbuster headlines and more by personal clarity. In the years following his separation from Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt has shifted focus from public spectacle to private substance. His journey through sobriety, emotional introspection, and legal struggles over family has changed how he moves through the world. And perhaps more importantly, who he allows into that world. Observers have noted that Ines de Ramon doesn't fit the Hollywood stereotype. A Swiss-born jewelry executive with a background in business and design, she is neither an actress nor a socialite. Her presence on Pitt's arm doesn't signal celebrity, but compatibility. She is often described as low-key, independent, and emotionally intelligent, a combination that insiders say has helped Pitt maintain the emotional progress he's worked hard to achieve over the past several years. Their interaction at the F1 premiere reinforces this narrative. There was no performative posing, no exaggerated displays of affection. Instead, there was ease, mutual respect, and a striking absence of the usual Hollywood posturing. In many ways, the couple's subtle affection, hands intertwined, brief eye contact, natural smiles, offered a counterpoint to the high-energy backdrop of the film's debut. The film F1 itself is a milestone for Brad Pitt. Directed by Joseph Kosinski, Top Gun Maverick, and produced in collaboration with real Formula One teams and drivers, the movie reflects Pitt's deepening interest in meaningful, immersive storytelling. His role as both lead actor and producer underscores his continued influence in shaping stories that blend adrenaline with emotional weight. Yet, even amid this professional spotlight, his personal life remains the focus of media curiosity. And what they're seeing is a version of Brad Pitt that's markedly different from his early fame. The days of tabloid-fueled romances and high-profile breakups appear behind him. What remains is a man more selective about his inner circle, more attuned to the tone of his life than its volume. There is also an element of balance in how Pitt and Inez are choosing to navigate public attention. Rather than orchestrating grand declarations, they're letting moments speak for themselves, like a simple gesture of adjusting a collar or a calm handhold on a bustling red carpet. These details, while small, resonate strongly in a media environment that's increasingly saturated with noise. For Pitt, whose every romantic move once launched headlines and speculation, this new dynamic seems intentional. It isn't about hiding, it's about choosing when and how to be seen. And when they are seen, it's not with flash, it's with grace. As Pitt continues to work on his family relationships, most notably reconnecting with his children through quieter, more consistent efforts, Inez has reportedly become a supportive presence in those dynamics as well. Though she remains out of the public discussions involving his children and ex-wife, her behind-the-scenes influence is understood to be calming and respectful of boundaries.